Champs is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. Serra Chevrolet, the low payment people. Visit us at lowpayment.cars. Meijer, your destination for sporting goods and equipment. And Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust.
Hi, and welcome to the first ever internet-only version of State Champs, and no commercials, so you gotta like that. This Sunday's time slot is a full hour of highlights from the FRC Michigan State Championship in robotics. So if you love RoboZone, there's twice as much more for you to love. But we couldn't just leave our State Champs High School Sports Show fans hanging, so we condensed down a mini version of State Champs for your viewing pleasure. I'm Lauren Plant.
And I'm Stephanie Funkhauser. We've got 3 of our signature segments to bring you this week. We have a brand new Serra Chevrolet Teacher of the Month to introduce you to, plus Tom Markowski and Don Dreyer will eliminate any of the confusion on the process of just how our Total Softball High School Softball Player of the Year race works. And Lauren and Tom will go in the dugout to discuss a few of the guys on the watch list for the Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association Mr. Baseball Award.
All right, that's a mouthful. And our mini show would not be complete without a highlight package. So for the first time ever, we are going to start with our Meijer main event, a clash on the baseball diamond. Tecumseh is the defending SEC White Division champs, bringing back a deep lineup in 2016. Chelsea comes in with a hungry young squad looking to take the next step. So the Indians hosting the Bulldogs, this week's Meijer main event. Jerry Mack has the highlights.
What's up, State Champs fans? Back and forth these two teams battled. We featured a good one in this week's Meijer main event. We pick up the action in Game 2 of the doubleheader, bottom of the third, Tecumseh trailing 1-0 with 2 outs, but the Indians with the runner in scoring position. The junior Jacob Shadley at the plate rips it through the hole. That ties things up at 1. Shadley would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. The 2-out rally would continue. Indians now with runners on second and third. Sam Benschoter, after going the distance in Game 1 and hitting the game-winning homer, ropes this one. Great effort by Jack Bush in right field, but unable to come up with the diving catch. That brings in both runners, and Tecumseh leads 3-1 after 3. Top 4, Chelsea with 2 men on. Jacob Rhodes just absolutely smokes this ball into the gap all the way to the wall. Credit Rhodes with a 2 RBI double as he drives in both runners, and we were all tied up. On to the top half of the 5th. Bulldogs looking for a run. Colin Steinhauer does a great job laying down the sacrifice bunt, successfully moves the runner over the third. Alex Vasquez sends the ball through the infield, and Chelsea regains a 1-run lead. After a pass ball tied things up at 4 in the 5th, we move it along to the bottom of 6. Lucas Coker leading things off for Tecumseh with the single up the middle. After a stolen base and sacrifice bunt, Coker now on third, and the Indians with only 1 out. Chelsea forced to bring in the infield. The sophomore Coker, Lucas, takes advantage by smacking this one the opposite way. Too hot to handle for the Chelsea second baseman, and Tecumseh goes up 5-4. Still in the 6th, now with 2 outs, Indians looking for an insurance run, and they would get it in big fashion. Jordan Patterson finds his pitch, drives it deep to left, over the outfielder's head, off the wall. Patterson ends up on third with an RBI triple. Tecumseh takes a 2-run lead into the 7th. So with the runner on first, Chelsea down to their final out. Will Sparrow, who came in for relief in the 5th, would get the batter to pop out to Patterson in center field, and after winning Game 1 3-1, Tecumseh holds on to take 2 against Chelsea. Final score in this one 6-4. We caught up with Patterson to talk about it after the game.
It's really cool. Never been MVP. It's pretty awesome. We haven't beat Chelsea 2 years in a row, so it's pretty nice, and we're ready to go beat them Wednesday.
The main event is sponsored by Meijer. Any great high school athlete will tell you they've been training for years. So if you're a kid with dreams of making the varsity team, head to Meijer. With brand name gear for your favorite sport, Meijer is on deck to help get you there.
So welcome back into the State Champs studios as we welcome in Tom Markowski for this week's In the Dugout, presented by the Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association. Let me start by saying, unlike our Softball Player of the Year race, in which you can vote for your favorite candidate at statechampsnetwork.com, that is a competition where our State Champs team will pick our Player of the Year. This segment, and what we're discussing today, is who the Baseball Coaches Association has in the running for the Mr. Baseball Award. We report, they decide. Okay, so just want to make that clear. Now let's put the 10 guys in the running for this award on your screen right now. And as you can see, Tecumseh's Sam Benschoter, who we showed hitting in our main event, is really known for his prowess on the mound. Now there's a lot of west side of the state flavor in this group. But Tom, talk about the two guys at the top of the list. And let's start with Brother Rice senior Carl Kaufman.
Number one player in the state, likely taken early in the Major League draft coming up in June. Strong right-hander, about 6'2", 200 pounds. What I like about Kaufman is he has a repertoire of pitches. He doesn't always rely on that fastball, which can get up to 92, 93 miles an hour. But he has, the curveball, slider. He's working on a changeup too. He's a complete pitcher, also a fine baseball player. When he's not pitching, he's in the field slugging away at the plate. We didn't really get a chance to see him much in the state tournament. Brother Rice got beat in the regionals last year. It'd be nice to see more of the fans see Kaufman play quarterfinals, semifinals round.
All right, so let's talk about a team that had a great run through the state tournament. We saw a lot of them. That was Heartland winning their first ever state championship. Let's talk about John Baker, the right-handed pitcher out of Heartland.
Well, he was 10-2 last season, but really shone in the state final where he went 10 innings with a 2-1 victory going all the way. He signed with Ball State. Heartland is that team, in my mind, is the typical of baseball in Michigan. They were kind of meandering through the regular season. Baker's having a good year. Then they just tore it up in the tournament, which so many teams do. They get hot and they just kind of carry it through. And Baker was at the head of that one. He is a lot like Kaufman as well. He has good fastball, touches 90, but he also has a lot of other pitches he can go to, the curveball, the change, and the slider. So they're both, really good pitchers, just not throwers, Kaufman and Baker.
All right, well, we appreciate the Baseball Coaches Association partnering with us so that we can talk about these guys, and we'll delve into more of them as the season progresses. In the meantime, head on over to MHSBCA.org. That is the Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association website. Lots of info on the All-Star Game, the All-State teams. Once again, that's MHSBCA.org.
Serra Chevrolet is proud to recognize the hardworking people in the communities they serve with the Serra Chevrolet Community Awards. April's Teacher of the Month award was given to Mary Macaulay, a science teacher at Marian High School. With over 20 years of experience, Mary is the head of the science department at Marian, and her students love her hands-on teaching. Mrs. Macaulay is also a huge advocate for the student athletes at Marian, and Serra Chevrolet is happy to have her as April's Teacher of the Month.
On behalf of Serra Chevrolet, I would like to congratulate Mary Macaulay for being the Teacher of the Month. Congratulations, Mary. You do a great job.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Serra Chevrolet, for making me Teacher of the Month.
Hi, I'm Tom Markowski, here again with Donnie Dreyer of Total Softball, and we're going to talk about the Player of the Year contest for softball this year. Last year we had a great success, and just want to talk a little bit about the process. There are 10 players involved that you can vote for, and we welcome all the voters that we're getting, but also it's just not 10. There could be players moving off of our list, and there could be players moving on the list. So it's not set in stone that these are the only players that you can vote for. Who are some of the players this year, Donnie, that could move into our top 10?
Well, Tom, our list is 40 kids strong. And some of the names that are starting to come up are, one is Jenny Bressler from Plymouth. She recently threw a no-hitter, struck out 17 against #1 team in the state, Caledonia. You've got Sophie Van Ecker at Mercy hitting over 750. Abby Scavars, a senior going to Michigan, is hitting over 600 for Clarkston. You also have Kendall Dunford, great pitcher out of Dakota, junior, and she's going to be going to Florida International. And another pitcher that's going to get a lot of our attention is Renee Hoffman from Clinton. So that list is 40 players deep, and it's going to be interesting to see who takes their name and gets to the top of the list. It's like, as you mentioned, it's not just that 10. We've got at least 40 that we're looking at.
Thank you very much, Donnie. There are some great candidates just waiting to get into that top 10 list. And about that top 10 list, it's not a popularity contest. Granted, the #1 vote getter gets automatically into our top 4. We at State Champs, and with the help of Donnie, will choose those other 3 candidates. So just because your candidate doesn't have a lot of votes, or you see the #1 vote getter having so many votes, don't stop voting. We want you to continue to vote. And we thank you this week for our segment talking about the process here at State Champs for our Player of the Year in softball. Next week, we'll get more into the meat of the players and some of the stats that these players are building up.
So that's it, people. We couldn't let a week go by without giving you some State Champs, and I'll just throw this out there right now. We plan on doing a Friday night live streaming web show in the fall, right here in our studio, talking nothing but high school football from 10 p.m. to midnight, all football season long. We'll take calls, Skype with coaches. We'll even have the first highlights of the weekend we can show you as the tape rolls into our studio. It's going to be great and a little chaotic at times, but it's going to be live. First show is slated to start August 26th.
Now, the reason State Champs was online only this week is because on Sunday, it's a full hour of State Champs RoboZone. The FRC Michigan State Robotics State Championship. This is RoboZone like you've never seen it before. You'll feel like you were right there. Check it out Sunday at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit and throughout the week.
That's right, we were there. And we'll see you back on TV next week for a full half hour of the best spring sports coverage in the state. Enjoy the rest of your week.
State Champs is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. Serra Chevrolet, the low payment people. Visit us at lowpayment.cars. Meijer, your destination for sporting goods and equipment. And Hungry Howie's Dough Raiser. Your next fundraiser comes with flavored crust.